10. Hi guys, David Wright here. I'm getting a lot of people ask for tips and advice on buying property here in Spain. Okay, so I've been here for 16 years and I've bought and sold several properties here, and recently just bought a plot of land, and at the moment I'm presently building a 4-bedroom house here. So I've got some great tips and advice that could save you time, money and some stress. This is my personal tips, okay, but I do recommend you get a good recommended lawyer to help you with your purchase. Many people buying property here in Spain are a bit swept away with it. It's a new time here in Spain. I don't know whether it's the sunshine or the beer or the cheap wine, but they do tend to take a few chances that they probably wouldn't take in the UK. So personally, I would say get a good lawyer, a recommended lawyer from somebody that you know here, okay? Not just one that's been recommended by an agent. Some of the estate agents get commissions, not all of them, but some of them get commissions for recommending a lawyer to you. So be careful on that one. The other thing is, buying property here, there's a lot of different laws and regulations in different areas, but I'm going to quote you on what I know and my experiences here in this part of Spain. It does vary slightly in different areas of Spain. First off, if you're buying a property here and you put down a deposit, normally that deposit, you go into the agent and you put down in writing about €1,000, €2,000 deposit on that property. About 7 to 10 days later, you put down a 10% of the property purchase price. That is non-refundable. If you pull out, you lose that deposit, okay? If the owner pulls out for any reason, then they have to give you double that deposit back, okay? Again, this varies, but this is in this area of Spain, and a lot of new areas now are bringing this law in as well. It's something I've done on the last 3 properties I've bought here. So just be careful of that when you're putting down a deposit. Just telling somebody over the phone or an agent that yes, you will have it, doesn't always guarantee that you're going to get that property. Okay, so buying older properties here can be a bit of a pitfall as well. Just give you some idea, I recently looked at a property that I was going to buy here that was about 40 years old, nice house on a plot of land. Everything looked great, there was other houses around it that looked fine. The owner and the estate agent told me all the paperwork was correct and there was no problem. I went to the land registry offices myself, found out that the property was not correctly registered, and so therefore that could be a problem. Went back to the agent and the owner, and they both later told me, oh yes, but that wouldn't be a problem. They didn't tell me that when I was looking at buying it. The owner said that they would go to the notary the day we do it and get the deeds done then. That's not the case here, guys. It doesn't always work that smoothly. It can take months to do that, and it's not a done deal. It's not guaranteed that that property will be registered if it's been built illegally here. So be careful on that one. Do your own checks. The other thing is, a property that I bought here once, or was going to buy here, had water connected, but when I looked into it, it was a water deposit in the garden underground. This is quite normal here on older properties in Spain, and it can be okay, but if you want to use quite a lot of water and you want to be connected to the mains water, that can be €2,000 or €3,000 to get connected and set up contracts. They might have to run in new pipes from the street, and sometimes it might not even be possible. So check on the water, make sure it is the correct water connected to the street mains if that's what you want. Again, electricity, not always connected properly. Now what do I mean by that? Well, some of the properties I've seen here, again older properties, I've got electricity and it looks fine, but they're only running old appliances like a fridge and a freezer, maybe a TV, something like that. If you want to do the property up and you want to have televisions in every room, central heating or a computer, fridges, all the appliances that we normally have, it might not be enough power, so you might have to have the power upgraded. A lot of the older properties, the fuse boards will not take it. You need a new cable. Now this isn't easy. On one property I went to look at, I looked into it and the council told me that I would have to speak to electricity company. I spoke to electric company, and they said that the power, to upgrade the power, even a little bit more power, would need a new cable from the street. Not a problem, about a week's work to do it. But the cable from the street to the property, €9,000. This is what it costs sometimes here, guys, to run a cable from the street. €9,000. I've had this quote twice before, so it's not just a few hundred, 9,000 to upgrade. Then the fuse board can be 200, 300 upwards just for the fuse board. Okay, so again, worth looking into. It might have electric, might have lights in there. If it's an older property, is it enough power for what you want? Okay, so check it out. Now my top tip here is, a lot of people don't know this, but I was advised by a good friend of mine here When you're buying a property, everybody has the right to go to the council office and ask to speak to the planning registry officer. The planning registry officer has a big book, and it is a big old dusty book. Every property in Spain is registered in that book with the planning registry office. It has a number, a plot number, and it tells you what it is. It tells you the permissions, what it has and hasn't got on that land. It's free to do this. It can be a bit of a hassle. If you don't speak good Spanish, take somebody with you, but it's a good investment. Not all lawyers will do this. They should, but not all of them do. One property I was looking at buying here, 3-bedroom house, on the deeds in the book, 2-bedroom. There was an extra bedroom there. The owner had put that in years later. Wasn't on the deeds. It might not have permission for that. That could be an issue, something you need to check out. Make sure it's got the amount of bedrooms it says, and the bathrooms as well. Another one, a pool. Great having a swimming pool, but has it got permission for that pool? You do need planning permission for a swimming pool here in Spain. Sometimes if the owner's put in a pool later, it's been there for years, haven't got permission for it, you buy that property, you might have to fill it in. They might not even give you permission, or you might have to pay a fine. Check it. Go to the planning office, ask, has it got it? Has it got all the paperwork? Be safe. It makes sense to get all these things checked out beforehand. As I say, you can do all this for free at the planning registry office. Just ask the council officer at your local council building how and where you can go about this. If you don't speak good Spanish, then take somebody with it. It's worth paying them for peace of mind before you start putting deposits down on property. Okay, so these are my personal tips. I hope they've helped save you some time and money and a little bit of stress. It's great buying here in Spain. It can be easy, it can be a nightmare. Make sure yours is easy and not a nightmare. I've got loads more great tips and advice in my books. There's a link to my books below this video. If this has helped at all, please leave a comment. Thanks very much.